Good evening, families and friends. Welcome to another episode of Bridging the Gap Between Men and Women. I'm your host, Ramont Williams. It's been a pleasant day. I hope all of you have had a blessed day. Are home safe or wherever you may be. Tonight, as always, we're going to start off with a video. And our topic today is who's more determined to remain single, men or women? I got my number on the board for those who want to contact me in reference to being a guest on the show. That is, of course, my real phone number. So if you're on any of that BS, I'll just block you. So don't have time for that. With that being said, I hope you all had a blessed day today. I'm on some program where we're picking up a lot of followers. So we're going to be transitioning from StreamYard, this platform here, to Twitch. One that it's another program that my son hooked up, where it has the likes, the dislikes, the subscribe button, donations, the whole spectrum, something that StreamYard doesn't have. So with that being said, let's get forward. I'm gonna play this video and then I'm gonna narrate it after I play it. So the comment box is open, my line is open. Let me see. Second. Let me see where we're at on here. Okay, there we go. So if you're interested in joining, I'm tired, long day at work today, here with my precious little baby girl, and, so hopefully I can get some rest tonight. But anyhow, let's get with it. So any of you that tune in and you want to be on, or you just want to make a comment and want me to respond to it, just respond in the comment box and I'll address it. So let's get on with this video, okay? So let's see how we get this thing started. There we go. Let's see. And I don't understand this. Let's go back to Facebook. Let's push.
Never actually lived with a partner before. I'm just trying to figure out, how am I not married with 5 kids running around? Like, what the fudge am I doing wrong? Most people say, oh, I don't give people a chance. Yes, I do. I have boundaries though. And I don't let people fuck me over. I'm gonna say more than 3 times because I give chances. I even give you a second chance. But it's so easy for me to just walk the fuck out once you start playing with me. But I still don't understand how I'm still single. I'm 31. I don't have any kids. I got a credit score of 803 exact, recently pulled. I have 2 paid off cars. I'm about to close on my first house this year in May. I'm not toxic at all. I got a big booty. I'm releasing an app on iOS and Android. I work hard as fuck. I'm not clingy, but I'll always make sure my partner feels appreciated. Okay, so I don't cook, but I can learn. And it's not like I don't know how to cook, but I just don't cook as much as I should. I'm probably not as feminine as the average feminine female, but I wear heels, I dress up. I just feel like I have a very dominant personality. I'm 5'8" in my head, but 5'4" on paper. I've never actually lived with a partner before. I'm just trying to figure out, how am I not married with 5 kids running around?
Okay, let's do this. Let me get out of this screen right here. Let's talk about this for a minute, if we will. Here's a young African American lady, very attractive, and she's asking the question, posing the question, why is she married with children? Okay, if you listen to her dialogue, she's basically telling you why she's not married. Okay, either you're feminine or you're not. Either you're controlling or you're not. Either you're toxic or you're not. You know, men, ladies, men are constantly saying this, and I will constantly repeat this and enhance it. We are not concerned about your credit scores, how many houses you bought, how many cars you paid out. That doesn't mean anything to us because most men have that stuff anyhow. You know, what we're looking for is the quality traits in a woman, what she brings to the table, other than this foolishness that a lot of women are saying, I am the table. No, you're not. You're not even a leg on the table, you know. But yet in the same token, here's a woman, as I said, when I seen this video, I had to clip it and I wanted to show it and talk about it. I changed my topic for tonight because I just want to prove a point here. I have a friend that's on Facebook. We text back and forth all the time, and she comments a lot on some of the things that I post. And I've been trying to get her on the show. She refuses to get on the show, but she's a good lady, okay? And I'm pretty sure she has a reason. But when women pose the question, why am I single? If you notice something, there's a lot of similar characteristics here. The things that they're saying, they possess all these worldly things, and they're saying what they can do, but they're not doing. See, here's what you ladies have to understand, okay? It's okay to go out there and get a career. It's okay to go out there and get your own home. It's okay to go out here and get a nice car and dress the way you want within reason. But when you're talking about dealing with men, men expect certain things from the woman that he chooses to embrace in his life. Now, you may control the key to sex, but we control the key to relationships. Okay, it's been proven time and time again. So, with that being said, if me, I'm gonna use me as an example. If I want a woman and say I smoke or I drink or I have some traits that's not very appealing to her, but she likes me as an individual and she asks me to stop that in order for her to make a commitment, then I have a choice to either stop doing it to honor that commitment or keep doing it, say she either accept me as I am. Here's the thing with a lot of modern day women and independent women that falls in these categories. You're so used to controlling things and running things and dictating things and being in control of everything that when you meet men, you're refusing indirectly to allow a man to be a man. Give you an example. Had a friend, if that's what I can call her, and she may be watching this. She texted me something today, and all I simply said was, wow. Okay. And she texted me back, what do you mean by that? And I said, nothing, you know, in particular. And she said, well, we're having a conversation. Hey, what's up, Ricky? She said, well, you need to explain yourself. Here's the thing. When you have platonic friendships or relationships, whatever you want to call them, neither the man or the woman really has to explain themselves when the situation or the conversation is not explicit. It's not very meaningful. You're just having a casual dialogue. Okay. I think oftentimes this is what's creating what I'm seeing through my studies and research. What's creating this great disparity between men and women is women have tried to play the role of men for so long because the men wasn't present in the home. Now, when they meet men, they don't want to allow men to be men. It's just that simple, you know. So there's no problem with us hooking up, but just like this sister said, she's wondering. Even though you throw all that stuff out there and say, well, I possess all these things, all these qualities, well, your qualities are not rare and they're not realistic because you're saying the same thing that 3 million other women are saying, and yet they're in the same position. And it's the same thing with a lot of men. They say they want wives, but they still want to be players. They don't want to give up their friends. And well, me and this woman been going to Jamaica every year. Well, okay, you're in a relationship, and I'm asking that you can that. So my solution to this, to bring resolve to this, is simply this: if you're serious, you're gonna have to be willing to compromise, either male or female. You're gonna have to reciprocate the same energy that you're requesting. You can't expect a person. I had a person text me and tell me, I don't want a man text me good morning every morning. How are you doing? This and that. Well, my thing is this: how do you communicate with a person that you desire to communicate with if they're giving you directions on what they will accept and what they won't accept? Because if I can't call you on the phone and talk to you, how do we communicate? So that's a clear sign that you're really not interested. So why even waste my time and say, or waste their time, and instead of just saying, hey, I'm not interested. We have to start taking accountability. Now, back to this lady. One thing I noticed about her is when she started trying to label all her physical attributes. Not only the physical attributes by saying, oh, and I even got a big booty. That's only obvious looking at the picture. You can tell that she's thick, very shapely, the whole 9 yards. But I think what she's not realizing is there's millions of other women out there that's shaped just as good as you, look just as good as you, if not better. So you're saying you got an 803 FICO score. What does that actually mean? Because I don't really know two men that meet women and ask them, well, what is your FICO score? Because you're not looking for a partnership. What you're looking for is someone that fits in a certain category. That's what you're looking for. So if they don't meet this standard or that standard, they have any characteristic flaws that's not appealing to you, you're not interested. So basically what you've done is eliminated that person to make yourself look like you're perfect, and there's no perfect human beings in this world. There's not. So here's the thing. At the gym today, okay, met a young lady. I think she was from Hawaii. Her name is Ashley. I don't know if she's watching or not. I gave her one of my cards actually to be on the show, talk to her. Now here's the first thing I noticed when she walked up. I was in front of the mirror, finishing off my sets, doing high chest dumbbells. And when she walked up, she was a very attractive lady. Found out that she was about 25 years old, from Hawaii, single, no kids. So the first thing I noticed was she had this look on her face that was unappealing. Okay, beautiful young lady, but she came in like mean mugging, like, okay, I see this big black guy here working out, all shiny and oiled up, but I'm giving you this look. Don't say anything to me. So I did a few more sets, and I finally approached her and said, well, hey, may I ask you a personal question? So we started dialoguing, told her about the podcast, and she asked me, she said, how old are you? I told her, I said, I'm 62. She said, you can't be. So I showed her my driver's license. She said, it's not real. I said, yeah, it is real. And she said, okay, you are. So we started talking more about the podcast. And then what she asked me was, after we kind of separated, because she was next to me, she said, can I ask you a question? She said, how do you maintain your looks and health? And I told her this. I said, well, everybody have their own means of how they do things. People say black don't crack, but we all know that's not true. I said, one thing I don't do, I don't use drugs, I don't drink, I don't smoke. Okay. I try to eat healthy. I try to exercise. That's the reason I'm in the gym. And the number one factor, I said, if I can ever give you any advice, is don't stress about anything you can't control. Stress kills more people statistic-wise than anything else in the world. More than herpes, more than AIDS, more than cancer, you name it. Stress is at the top of the list. I don't stress about anything. So after we talked, the young lady, she left. She said she'd be back in contact with me. If she do, she do. If she don't, she don't. And, it was a wonderful experience. But back to this lady again. When you ladies, I'm gonna talk about you ladies, then I'm gonna get on you guys too. When you ladies say that you want a man, but you don't need a man, that statement within itself is contradictory. And I'm gonna tell you the reason why. Because want and needs, even though they have two different connotations and two different definitions, they're one and the same. Okay, in my belief. Because in order for you to have balance in your life, there needs to be a man. And it's the same thing with a man. In order to have that balance in his life, there needs to be a woman. Okay, you can want whatever you want. But tell me how many of you hit my comment box. How many of you like going to bed at night? I've heard a lot of people say, well, there's no stress. There's no confusion. Okay, none of us wants confusion and stress. We don't want to fight. But do you really like cuddling up with cats and dogs, animals? Do you really like laying in that big California king by yourself at night, wondering and praying, God, send me some man? But here's the reality about it, and this goes to everybody. And I just texted this to a lady just before we came online. When we're single and we're looking for people, we have to look for people more realistic. We have to convey our inner thoughts, okay? We can't just say we want something just for the sake of saying we want it, okay? Unicorns don't exist, whether male or female, okay? If you're not out there, putting yourself on display, however you choose to do it, in whatever demographics you choose to do it at, nobody's going to come knock on your door and say, you know what, I want to fall in love with you, I want to marry you, and I want to be your life partner. That's just a simple reality. So when you get women like this and get on here and post this, and basically what she's doing is, I don't think she was basically trying to put out the message for a potential partner. What I think she was doing, what most women do, and a lot of men do on social media, they're out there campaigning to get prospects to date. Because first of all, why do you have to get on social media and tell people what your FICO score is and what materialistic things you own in the world? That's not going to make you more attractive. Not to a real man, it's not. To somebody that doesn't have anything, that's not doing anything, that don't have any goals in life, yeah, that may mean the world. Oh man, I just met this bad female. She got a house, she got 2 cars, she got this, she got that. To a real man like myself, okay, that's fine. I got those things too. So let's move on to something more productive. Let's talk about how we can come together and probably make something manifest where it can be productive to both of us. Let's talk about that. I don't care what kind of car you got. I don't care what your FICO scores is. See, those things are only matter if you're going to buy something. FICO scores, you can have a perfect 850 FICO scores. And I'm pretty sure most rich people have that. They're still not happy. And they can have a car garage, like a garage full of cars like Mayweather does. And they're still not happy. And they get more divorces than common people do. So when I seen this, I had to address this. I said, well, you know what? Because I had a few of my friends and families respond and was saying, they said some hilarious things, which I'm not going to really talk about. I don't know what the woman smelled like because I've never been around her and probably never will. But I do know, listen to her conversation, that all the things that she said, she contradicted herself. Go back and watch it yourself. I'm not trying to be condescending. I'm not trying to put her down. But ma'am or young lady, nobody needs to know what your financial status is. I tell people this all the time. You know, you say you know Ramont, but how do you know me if you never engaged in a conversation with me? You may have been in an area that I've been in. You may have heard people talk about me, but you don't know Ramont unless you sit down and talk to me. A lot of people think that I'm mean. Well, I guess I'm mean when I'm sincere. A lot of people think that I'm a little over the edge because I'm passionate. But I'm one of the most polite, kind, and respectful men that I know. But just like any other man or woman, if you push them or do something that they feel is inappropriate, then most people are gonna say something. I just happen to be a bigger guy that works out a lot, so people add that into the equation and say he's acting like that because of his size. Well, I've been this way most of my life. I've always been a candid person, you know. So when I meet women, example, I had a woman that I just met tonight, and I'm gonna read the text so you know that I'm not lying. Here's a woman that I just met on I guess it's Facebook. Okay, she hit me up. Be quiet, mommy. And she the first thing she do is she don't even introduce herself. She just say what's up and send a picture. Okay, this is another thing y'all have to understand. If you're trying to date someone, please use proper grammar. Please make it very plain and clear what your intentions are. If you just want to be a text buddy, if you just want somebody to go out and hang out at the bar with you, somebody going to shoot pool with you, somebody go to a football game, please express that. Don't come off as you're looking for a life partner when you know that that's not what you're looking for. Because what happens is the situation that these women find themselves in with me. Once I discern that they're not sincere, then I expose them. And once I expose them, like most people, they don't like the truth, so they get butthurt and they start saying negative things, then they want to block you. Well, it doesn't matter whether you block me or not. See, when I lay down at night, I'm going to sleep. I'm not worried about who blocked me, who's not talking to me, or who's not. So back to this lady. She texts me on my phone because I put my number on the screen, and she said, "What's up?" I said, "You're a nice looking woman. What's your story?" I didn't ask her anything about her financial situation. She said, "I'm very well off. I'm a fashion consultant, single and looking for a relationship." Okay, so how do you think most men would interpret that? Okay, here's a beautiful woman just hit me up. I'm single. Hey, man, let's get together, blah, blah, blah. So she asked me, I asked her, I said, "What state are you in?" Because me personally, I'm not trying to do no long distance relationship. It will be too much of a burden on me to be trying to get off work and fly and do all this. You know, it would be easy for me either one of the bordering states or in state. That's just my preference. Okay. I said, "What state are you in?" She said, "Las Vegas." And you? I said, "Vegas." She said, "Okay, what are you looking for?" Now, here's the key when it comes to women. All right. What am I looking for? Okay, I'm on a dating site. I'm not on a prostitute site or call girl site. What are most people on dating sites looking for? A partner, a husband, a wife, common sense things that people take and twist and play games with. They play mind games with. This is what people online do, I guess. They have nothing better to do. So here's my statement, and I'm going to bring this to a close. I said, "You don't seem very interested to me." She said, "How?" I said, "I'm looking for what most people claim that they're looking for, a life partner." She said, "Same." So I don't know how much time transpired between each text, but it's one thing I know: when she started texting, her texts started getting smaller and smaller. And the more vague people become when they try to compose texts, it lets you know that they're bullshit. Okay. So with that being said, I said, "You sure you're not looking for a text buddy?" You're not going to believe what her response is. She said, "Yeah." I said, "Well, I'm not that person. I can think of 101 ways that I can spend my precious time other than texting. So if you're not willing to talk on the phone or video chat, I'm really not interested." She never responded back. Okay. So with that being said, you ladies, my advice to you, from a black man to sister, Latino sister, Caucasian sister, no matter what your ethnic background is, if you want to date men for real and you want the things that you claim that you want and you desire, then you have to put all that BS that's been pumped in your head, shoved down in your heart, and do some restructuring. And a lot of men have to do the same thing. Okay. But from a man's perspective, if a man is not willing to compromise, now when I mean compromise with you women, I mean something that's realistic. Okay. You can't ask a man to do something that you're not willing to do yourself. Okay. It's just that simple. So if you have characteristic flaws that you're not willing to change when you sit down at the table, this is what they mean by coming to the table, not you are the table. So ladies, please get this right. Okay. When you sit down with a man, what you're doing is like two companies negotiating a business deal. What you're doing is you're trying to negotiate how your life and that person's life can mesh together and you can build something that's productive. That's what you're negotiating. So how do you negotiate that effectively if you got your fingers crossed behind your back? You have ulterior motives. Your intent is not correct. And this is what's happening both for men and women, because I hear a lot of women saying, this group of men, that men play a lot of games. Well, that can be said on both parts. Me, I'm not wasting weeks and months texting nobody. My time is precious. I'm in my 60s. You know, to take an hour to text 6-7 paragraphs when I can talk on the phone and say what I need to say in 5 minutes and get clarity and an understanding what your intentions are. You can't do that through texting. And for all of you that think you can, I can prove you wrong. Hit my box and let's put a sample to the test. Okay. So again, women, ladies, queens, if you want a sincere man, you say you can't find a good man. They're out here. They really are. I'm one of those men. But you have to understand, like women are saying, we're not accepting anymore the BS. We're not doing this. We're not doing that. Well, here's a sad reality. Most of your past relationships you accepted when you knew the man wasn't any good. You cannot sit here and convince me otherwise that you stayed in a relationship over a year when you knew it wasn't conducive to your well-being or your family or your children, and you justified it by making excuses for this man that he will change, or you can convince him to change, or he was abusive, he wasn't going to do it anymore. Whatever your excuses were, you were lying to yourself. And therefore, you conveyed the same lie to the people in the world that you associated with. Okay, life is too short for any of us, for us to be playing these unrealistic games, whether we're men or women, with a person that's not sincere and that's not trying to do what we're trying to do. It's just that simple. So if you want to be in a relationship, you have to come to the table with realistic expectations. Get off this kick about you can't eat at a Cheesecake Factory, because one, If I'm trying to date you for the first time, I don't have to take you anywhere. All I'm really trying to do is create a dialogue with you to see if we're compatible, or if we have what I like to call that kinship spirit. Some people call it chemistry, some people call it vibes. Whatever you choose to label it as, you should be thankful. You shouldn't have your mind that minute where you're saying, well, if he don't take me to the Bellagio, or he don't take me to Resort World, he's broke. No, we're not broke. We're just not spending our money on people that's not deserving of it. You think about it, if the roles were reversed and it was required that women take men out on dates. See, we got to look at it from both sides, ladies and gentlemen. We can't just look at it one side. Yeah, I know it's been set up through society standards that men court women. That's fine. Most men don't have a problem with that. What we have a problem with is when you start making demands how you're to be courted. When we're meeting for the first time, don't expect a la carte, limo, in a presidential suite. It's not happening. Because here's the sad reality. A lot of women and men are going on these dates just to get things out of people, and they're saving their money because they want to take pictures in restaurants and stuff and brag to their family. Girl, I went to a 5-star restaurant. Well, where did you acquire that taste from? Because I know most people, like myself, we grew up poor or in lower middle class. Well, we couldn't afford those things. Now, granted that a lot of us have been blessed, now we can't afford those things. It's okay. It's really okay to like caviar, sushi, or whatever it is you desire to eat, whatever type of wine you like to drink, but don't make it a prerequisite that a man has to provide that for you in order to talk to you. We're not dating. We're becoming acquainted. Maybe that's the word we should start using. Let's get better acquainted. Let's not date, because when we date, then there's expectations that go with that. Does that make sense? So when you come to the table with realistic thought. Okay, let's go to, if you don't like Starbucks, where do you want to go? It don't have to be anything fancy, because once we get to conversating, if some of the things come up out your mouth is not positive and conducive to the things that I'm really attracted to, then I'm gonna get up and leave anyhow. That's just me, because I'm not gonna waste my time. And I wouldn't expect you to do that either. So what we're gonna do is, moving forward on this show, we're gonna do a Q&A. Okay. So for all of you in there or out there that have questions about certain relationship, I'm a man, and I say things raw and unadulterated. If you don't understand what that is, some of you may not. That's uncut. Okay, but being on this public platform, I have to be mindful that it may be kids listening to this, so I will keep my tone and my perspective respectful. Okay, but a lot of you women that's having problems with men, I can tell you, I wrote a book that I haven't had published that's called What Your Husbands, Boyfriends, and Fiancés Won't Tell You About the True Characteristic Traits of Men. And the reason I wrote this book is because men do play a lot of games. They do. And granted, a lot of you sisters have poured your hearts out to these guys, be willing to, fly to the moon and back, but they wasn't appreciative of the things that you did. They wasn't appreciative of the things that you gave and who you are. And I understand that. I empathize with you when you poured your heart out to a guy that just walked on it. You have some callous people in this world. Very malicious people in this world on both sides, both male and female. So what you have to do is quit going looking for, you can't go to to a used car lot and think you're going to get a Maybach. It's not going to happen. And if you find one on that lot, it's probably something wrong with it because they got it from auction. So you have to understand, if you want a good man, you have to go where good men are. See, a lot of times you're searching in the wrong place. If church was the place for all good men and good women, everybody would be happily married. So we know that's not it. So good men and women can be found anywhere you frequent. Starbucks, Smith's, Walmart, Target, you name it, laundromat. But I know a lot of us have these unrealistic standards that we got to meet a person in a 3-piece suit or $1,000 evening gown. It's unrealistic. Think about this for a minute. I want you that's listening, because we got a big following tonight. And tune in, please. Shoot your questions, and I'll try to answer them if I can. But think about this. I'm gonna give you a hypothetical, okay? Ladies, you meet a man. You say you want a man that's, he don't have to be high value, make 6 figures as long as he got his stuff together. Okay, so when we say he got his stuff together, we're just gonna assume that that's house, car, nice job, dress nice, smell good, nice teeth, the whole 9 yards. Okay, so if this is what you truly desire, then when you meet this man, then you have to let this man be a man. Okay, let's put aside that you have 1, 2, 3, or 4 children. The father was never nothing, or maybe he was half something, but he abandoned you. So you had to do what most women reluctantly do. You had to take on that father role, but it didn't make you a man. It just means the responsibility became greater. Okay. So with that being said, you did what you did was commendable. And any of us that can hear your story will be the first to give you accolades and a pat on the back. But you have to understand something. God created a divine order for a reason. Now, I know a lot of people say they don't believe in God. A lot of people say they do and don't. So it doesn't matter. I believe in God, and that's all that matters. I'm not a preacher. I'm not on here to preach. But if God created a divine order, and he said, well, who's at the top? It's God, man, woman, children, and family. So if you got God up here and you got man and woman, man steps away. Now woman is here. Children is up under her. Man comes back into play. Where does the woman's role go? It goes back to where it started from. And see, ladies, if you're not willing to relinquish, now I'm not telling you by any means when you've worked hard and struggled, your blood, sweat, and tears, to let some goofball come into your life and destroy it. How can he guide you when he don't have any directions? That's the blind leading the blind. I understand that, and I'm not suggesting that, nor would I ever even ask any of you women to even indulge or engage with a man like that. Because my thing has been, and I did a show called Male versus Men, and every male specimen that's walking the face of this earth, no matter what his ethnicity background is not a man. A man is defined by his characteristic traits and how he personifies those traits. Okay, we know that a man's role in life is to protect, provide, to love, to encourage, support, all those things. Some men are very good at it. A lot of males are not. So ladies have to take some accountability, because a lot of these guys that you interacted with were not men, and you knew they were not men, but it was something about them that you were attracted to. I don't know if it was sex or what it was, but you stayed in it when you know it wasn't conducive. So you have to take accountability, say, well, you know what? I'm not going to be biased towards all men. I made some bad choices. We're not going to talk about body counts, okay? Because that's relevant. Nobody is sitting up saying, well, open up your legs and let me look in your vagina and see how many penises been in there. You know, that's unrealistic. You know, and when men ask women that, I think that's very insulting. I think it's very rude. It's very condescending and disrespectful. You know, what you should care about is the qualities that that woman possess when you meet her. And the same thing with you ladies when you meet a man. Yeah, I know a lot of men go through this pretense when you meet them. They act like gentlemen, and then as you get into the relationship, but this is what I need to share with you ladies, okay? If they show you they're not shit, then you better believe they're not shit. So you ain't got to wait 10 years and waste 10 years of your life. If they show you that in a few months because they came off with this image that they were so perfect, that they were your knight in shining armor, that they were going to sweep you off your feet, and every word came out their mouth, you just floated on, and you had to share it with your friends and your girlfriends and your co-workers and your family members. I finally met the man of my dreams. Then 2-3 months later, you pull up at your mom's house and he won't even open the door for you. See, this is what I mean. You have to start looking at things realistic. See, because we live in a world, everybody is not participating in a realistic world. My grandmother always told me this, and I'll always remember this. Son, create a world inside this world and only allow those people in that you trust and love and believe in. And I've held true to that. And that's what I do. And it's the same thing with you ladies. You can't allow anybody into your world. I don't care what kind of car he's driving, what kind of house he's still. I don't care how much money he's making. If he ain't a man, then you shouldn't let him in. It's just that simple. And if you want to know more, my number is on the screen. Hit me up, DM me, email me. I got the scan QR bar up here. You can hit me up if you want to be on the show, because a lot of times, you know, I can sit here because I used to be a youth advocate and a motivational speaker. So I can sit here and literally talk for hours. But I'm not Dr. Phil, and I'm not trying to just push my opinion on people. So it's easier for me if I'm interacting with someone as opposed to me just doing all the dialogue, if that makes sense. Okay. So you ladies, be a little bit more realistic than this young lady was. And if you didn't see it, actually, I'm going to put it back up again one more time before I close off. Okay, hold on. Let me. Okay, let's do this. Share screen. Facebook. Share. Okay, let's listen to this one more time.
I'm going to say more than 3 times because I give chances. I even give you a second chance. But it's so easy for me to just walk the fuck out once you start playing with me. But I still don't understand how I'm still single. I'm 31. I don't have any kids. I got a credit score of 803 exact, recently pulled. I have 2 paid off cars. I'm about to close on my first house this year in May. I'm not toxic at all. I got a big booty. I'm releasing an app on iOS and Android. I work hard as fuck. I'm not clingy, but I'll always make sure my partner feels appreciated. Okay, so I don't cook, but I can. I can learn. And it's not like I don't know how to cook, but I just don't cook as much as I should. I'm probably not as feminine as the average feminine female, but I wear heels, I dress up. I just feel like I have a very dominant personality. I'm 5'8" in my head, but 5'4" on paper. I've never actually lived with a partner before. I'm just trying to figure out, how am I not married?
Okay, I'm gonna tell you why you're not married with any kids. First of all, you can screw anybody and have kids. That's not the issue. The reason you're probably not married to the type of man that you're advocating for is because most men see through your bullshit. You're on here looking for empathy for something that you can't provide. Who cares what your FICO scores is? Who cares how big your booty is? Because you're not the only woman that's got an 800 FICO score. You're not the only one that has a big booty. You're not the only woman that paid off cars, buying houses, the whole 9 yards. So what you're doing is you're selling yourself to people. You're putting yourself out on the market for people that's not interested in what you're selling. It's just that simple. That's the reason you're staying single, because you have to bring something to attract men that's about their business. You have to attract them with something more than what you're saying. You're saying you can cook, but you can't cook. You're saying you're not toxic. You're not clingy. And I think this is what get most men that hear her talk is you're masculine. But then you turn around and say I'm feminine because you wear high heel shoes. I know dykes that wear high heel shoes, and they don't have no feminine in nowhere other than between their legs. So all the traits that she tried to advocate and sell and market herself with, most men that have that discernment as I do can see right through that. Lady, you're trying to bait people in with materialistic stuff that men already possess. So that doesn't make any sense. You would have been better off saying, I've just had bad luck in choosing men, taking some accountability and saying, I'm willing, I'm on here trying to date. So hit me in my box. We'll go out and have a cup of coffee, blah, blah, blah. And if it works, it does. If it doesn't, it doesn't. But you coming under here under this pretense that you offer all these things to any real good man and no one's taking a bite. I'm pretty sure you got hundreds of dudes hitting your inboxes, but they're not the type of men that you want. And this is what you ladies have to understand. This is just me. I would take a woman that works in a hotel or a fast food chain if her desires exceed her present situation. If I know you're willing to get out there and grind and do whatever it takes to make our household balance, then I'll embrace that. And I think most real men will and have in some time or another. A lot of people say they don't want to be used, but I just heard a brother say something that I haven't posted yet. He said, well, if you've never been used, that means you're useless. Because everybody in this world that has anything, or attained anything, or that's about anything will be used in one point in time in their life. Family, friends, co-workers, kids. Your kids are the biggest users and abusers in this world. You don't need a pimp with a hat driving a Mercedes or a Lexus, because all you got to do is look down the hallway in those bedrooms that you got. Those are your pimps. I got one living here with me. So my thing is, ladies, you have to be more realistic. I think, as it says on the screen, I think a lot of women are determined to remain single than men. That's just my personal opinion. If you disagree with that by any means, then hit me up and we'll discuss it. If you have any topics that you would like to discuss, hit me up. We'll discuss it. It's just that simple. So I'm gonna bring this to a close. You know, I'm tired. You know, I want to thank each and every one of you that participated tonight, people that gave shout outs. Thank you. I love you all. Please be safe out there. And remember this podcast was designed basically do what I'm doing now, is to create dialogue. But to create dialogue, you have to participate. You can't just pop up on the screen and watch me talk and look at the background in the house. You know, you have to actively engage, because if you go in the comment boxes on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and all these other places, you're constantly hitting, boom, texting stuff. So it's the same thing applies here. You know, support. You know, whatever it is you have to say, let your voice be heard. This is the platform for it. Okay, so I don't know what the topic will be tomorrow. I'll post it. And in fact, let me take that back. I won't be on tomorrow. I'll try to do a show earlier in the day because I have to go in at 3. And I probably won't get off to 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning, which I know most of you will probably be asleep. So what I'll do is try to do a show in the morning, probably noonish, about noon time. Say we'll do one about noon tomorrow. So if you're not busy, you're not working, you're sitting around bored and have nothing to do, hey, tune in. You know, support your boy. You know, it's been a plum, pleasing pleasure. Thank you. God bless you all. I love you all. Please be safe. And until tomorrow, thank you.